Farmers across the state have been faced with the biosecurity threats of Japanese encephalitis, lumpy skin and foot and mouth disease.
Look, we're under unprecedented levels. It's something that many of us have not seen in our lifetime is what currently is being experienced.
Livestock and crops are all at risk, and if these diseases get into the community, the agriculture industry will be the most affected.
Look, it'll be a major impact on all of the industry and our wider communities, and especially our regional communities as well.
Also impacting Australia's export markets.
Any major disease outbreak or plant outbreak that happens in Australia means there is a reassessment by our trading partners of our trading status.
But the government is hoping to help with these major risks.
The best result is to not get these diseases into Australia. So ramping up surveillance is one way we do that.
They announced $163.9 million in next year's budget to focus on ongoing protection of regional communities.
This is about putting safeguards in place for our agricultural sector, and we want to make sure that we're putting those safeguards in to protect our farmers right across New South Wales.
Agriculture is at the forefront of these threats, and after droughts, fires and floods affecting the industry, farmers can't catch a break.
But we want to make sure that biosecurity does not become the next big issue that we have to deal with.
The agriculture industry is worth over $20 billion in the state, and the government hopes the funding will support biosecurity measures for the future. Michaela Fanto, WIN News.
A coal plant in the Upper Hunter, which usually powers 2 million homes, has suffered a major outage, worsening the nation's energy shortage. It came as the state government touted $1 billion investment in its long-term plans to overhaul our ageing electricity network.
In the Upper Hunter, AGL's Bayswater coal plant today operating at just a quarter of its capacity. Breakdowns in 3 units adding to mounting maintenance woes that are tightening energy supply.
Reducing supply on that scale could see a significant increase in the wholesale price of electricity right at the moment when electricity prices are going through the roof.
The strained market is forcing the state to increasingly rely on expensive gas to plug shortfalls.
These are not New South Wales challenges, they're national and global challenges.
By coincidence, the Treasurer was in Orange unveiling stage 2 of his 10-year transition away from fossil fuels. The first phase was setting up 5 renewable energy zones across the state, inviting private companies to build solar, wind and hydro farms to replace retiring coal stations. Today's announcement is about linking those new power plants to the grid. $1.2 billion to kickstart private investment in a major upgrade of poles and wires.
It's the biggest single investment in renewable energy in the state's history.
At the moment, our transmission lines are tied up, so only 1 in 20 new energy projects is actually pumping power into the grid. But that extra supply would help to bring down bills. The state government's vision is a long-term fix, but the nation is in the grip of a short-term crisis, prompting a warning that coal can't be abandoned just yet. Alinta Energy is proposing a new scheme which would see plants fined for failing to generate power when it's being used most, like the evening and early morning.
And equally, if they're not there and they're letting the system down, then they would be punished and penalised for not being available.
A system that would hit the bottom line of big business and protect the household hip pocket. Liz Daniels, 9 News.
The Treasurer remains tight-lipped about where a key part of today's plan, the Waratah Super Battery, could be located. Hunter MP Yasmin Catley wants to see the site named in the upcoming budget.
Matt Keane's power play, a $1.2 billion plan to fast-track 5 renewable energy zones, including one in the Hunter and Central Coast.
I hope that the government take this opportunity to build the transmission line that's required here in the Hunter.
The government says the first investment will be to fill the hole left by Eraring Power Station's upcoming closure. The Treasurer today confirming tenders are open for the Waratah Super Battery.
We want to get the best site and the best investment for taxpayer dollars so that we can keep the lights on, drive prices down and underwrite a brighter future for everyone in the state.
There are ongoing calls for it to be located at the old Munmorah Power Station, and some want an answer soon.
It is, of course, critical that we also have the 700 megawatt battery, which I have been calling for to be located at Lake Munmorah, and I really hope that in the budget we will hear where the government intends to put that.
It's a very suitable site. We're currently investigating the best location to make sure we can maximise the investment in the Waratah Super Battery.
Climate groups say the Hunter could still be the state's powerhouse.
Projects like offshore wind, the Waratah battery, other battery projects are all big opportunities for the Hunter.
Tenders close next month. Claudia Radoljak, NBN News.